99X and the Morning X. It's Barnes, Leslie, Fram. There's a big WTF lurking out there, especially after the Super Bowl, that I want to tackle for people so they can understand it, and I want to understand it. I know that's a big tease, but we'll get to it in about 30 seconds.
Excellent. All aboard Planet Jill tonight and weeknights, of course, on 99X, 7 to midnight. Jill is back, and all week she has tickets to see Maggie Rogers on the Don't Forget Me tour with the Japanese House. That's at Amerisbank Amphitheater, June the 11th. Tickets are on sale this Friday at livenation.com. Or get those with Jill, 7 to midnight tonight on 99X.
Celebrity Sleaze is coming up in the next segment. First, I want to play a quick commercial for you that aired multiple times. Now, remember, 7 million got you a commercial in the Super Bowl. And this aired multiple times during and after the game. So here's the WTF that I'm talking about.
All of my wishes came true. Shop like a billionaire. Shop like a billionaire. Ooh, ooh, TEMU. Ooh, ooh, TEMU.
Download the TEMU app and shop like a billionaire.
What the fark is TEMU?
And it's all over my social feed.
TEMU. And we did round up a writer who has gone deep with it that can explain it way better than anyone. Her name is Jody Schwan. Hey, Jody.
Hi, good morning.
How did you even get assigned to investigating what the hell this is?
Well, so here's the thing. I own my own business. I assigned myself. I don't know what that tells you, but I did because I had the same reaction, Barnes, that you did. I'm watching the Super Bowl. First of all, catchy tune, isn't it? Cute commercial if you saw it in person. Yeah. How does a billionaire shop? Well, clearly a billionaire wants things as cheap as possible, right? Not so much. So what I did was actually driven by a local maker, small business person who responded to this ad. And we can talk more about that because I think that's truly a theme here. But to answer your question, first of all, TEMU, I am far from an expert in it. I learned a lot writing this piece. But I couldn't have even told you before the Super Bowl specifically how to pronounce this online shopping site. So that was helpful, right? Okay, it's TEMU. Not going to forget that. But I think it's indicative of a bit of a broader category here in retail because, Leslie, you're probably familiar with Shein. I can't say there's anything in my wardrobe from Shein, but TEMU and Shein and Barnes is like, what is that now?
What is Shein?
It's a whole new world, right?
Same thing, cheap stuff.
Okay.
Cheap stuff. And Shein has really carved its niche in fashion, specifically fast fashion and accessories. So TEMU is like, think about Amazon and some of those key categories maybe that you could buy on Amazon, but a lot cheaper and coming to you directly from the manufacturer in many cases, which is in Asia. So a lot of household items. I just actually pulled it up on my computer because it's always changing, of course, and that's part of the intrigue here. So, with just a few clicks, you too could be the proud owner of $30 sneakers, $7 reading glasses, and $4.77 no soil cultivation seedling blocks because we all need 1,000 of those.
This is so riveting and so interesting. And we're talking to Jody Schwan, who wrote an article about TEMU. It's all over my feed on Twitter or X. They buy $1 billion worth of ads. How are they getting these products so cheap?
Well, that's the key question. And first of all, it's all over my feed now, too. That's what happens when you write a column about it, apparently. Unintended consequences, right? But it's coming directly from the manufacturer. So they're cutting out the middleman. So where you might have gone to a retail store in your community, or a boutique, for instance, a specialty home goods store, which in some cases are importing from Asia too. The difference is they're selling to you locally. Here, they're getting on the boat and they're coming to your house, and that's how, in part, they're able to keep the cost down. Of course, there's other speculation about labor costs and the material used and things like that.
Some of the people I've seen in stories on television are like, yeah, I got my iPhone case from TEMU and it was 12 cents and it's just a piece of crap. How do they have so much money to buy, 3+ ads in the Super Bowl with selling things for pennies?
Volume, right? That's how you get
That's
there.
a lot of
volume.
The investment's worth it because think about it. The huge audience, they did this actually the year prior in the Super Bowl, and they saw their downloads on their app just shoot up.
They've been at the top Why does it take so long for the things to get to you, though? You pay 12 cents and you wait like 3 months to get the item is what some people are saying.
Sure. Well, the thing about supply chain has been an issue here for the last couple of years anyway, right? But depending on where it's coming from, you've got to get a container that goes on a boat, and then the boat's got to get to you, and then there's the long delivery haul. And let's just say this, that's if it gets to you at all.
And there seems to be a lot of controversy around it.
I think there's some backlash, first of all, just against this idea that you're cutting out the local. You're cutting out the person in your community who is dependent on that for their livelihood, and by extension, all of the people who work for that particular local business. And then beyond that, everything from data security. Let's be honest, on some level, you're paying with your data when you do business with companies.
Yes.
Yep. And then I think, too, just concerns about who's making these items. What kind of conditions are they faced with? Counterfeiting is a big issue. Piracy, and then certainly the materials, just the fact that they're not maybe what they look like in the glossy photo online when they actually show up at your door.
Wasn't there another e-commerce group that got suspended by Google for some malware threat that's similar to this?
The app, I think, that is tied to the parent company of TEMU had some issues with that.
Yeah, this is so strange. We're talking to Jody Schwan, who wrote a big piece on TEMU, the thing that no one knows what it is except if you buy 12-cent iPhone cases. And then it gets here when you've already got the next iPhone, so it doesn't get here in time. It takes that long. But this company is just printing money, and you line it up with all the other problematic apps like, TikTok, that, half the world is angry at. But I don't know how this ends. I don't know that it's going to catch on like Amazon. Yes, their downloads are up at the top, but are people doing anything with it? That could be a product of just the advertising and the curiosity. Then you get in and you realize, oh, crap, this is going to take forever, and this stuff looks like dog shush.
Yeah, this isn't necessarily where you go when you need a refill on your basic household items. I feel like this is a lot of impulse buying. You go on this site for things that you never knew you necessarily, quote, needed. And next thing you know, your cart is overflowing with these somewhat random assortment of merchandise. But, we'll have to see. I do think for now, the timing's good. I mean, everybody's trying to save money, right? Your costs are up seemingly everywhere you look. And so a site that comes in and says, well, if you're sick of paying high prices, we can take care of that. They sort of gamify it as well. And they give you, limited time offers, lightning deals, all of those things designed to make us think we have to have this now.
I'm so glad we had you on just to at least know how to pronounce it. It's TEMU. But did you find anything else in your discovery and your research that was shocking to you about TEMU?
Not so much shocking, but I just think the overall huge positive response that I received by highlighting a local business person, a local artist actually, who makes work out of reclaimed old baseballs. That was what sent me down this whole road, because he posted, after seeing the commercials, a whole laundry list of all the people who benefit when you buy his work. And a lot of those are artists, but there are others just on the back end of the operation, and they're all U.S. based. And none of those people get paid if you do business with a site like TEMU. That was his point, and that was really my point in digging into the issue.
Yeah, shop local, guys. I mean, you all know the better ways to get this stuff than to give the money to these guys.
Barnes, when I want something cheap, I just go to the dollar store.
Exactly. Well, thanks for giving us a quick a lightning cast of it, because I'm like, why is this thing taking off like crazy? But I think it's probably going to bomb as fast as it took off, because the crap doesn't hold up. Anyway, thank you, Jody Schwan. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on the show.
Thank you.
It's called TEMU, and beware. I say keep it local. Keep it down to earth. This is the original. It is 99X.